This is Dad Mentality. I am Rodney Glover. I'm your host. So we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So that's all. You'll definitely learn more about us as this podcast goes on. I'm grateful that I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what we're getting ready to get into and what we're going to start. The thing is, I've been blessed with a lot of friends that all are great men and dads. But I found that we don't talk to each other enough.
There is a difference between being a good man and being good at being a man.
Cleo and me was about all these motorcycles, all these cars, everything I could think of,
I wouldn't change a thing. Like some things you look at me like, wow, but honestly, man, I wouldn't change it. We experience and those things, ultimately make us who we are. That's what I believe. Like.
Hello. This is the mom's mentality taking over from dad mentality. I got my girls with me today, my girl O and my girl Courtney. Yes, I am one of your hosts along with the Beast One. Yes, dad mentality.
I'm still here.
This is your girl, Black Zen. Yes, founder and operator of the Zen Den. Yes. I hold space for exploration of the body and mind and focus through breath and stretching. Yes, come and holla at your girl. You can find me on all social media platforms. The Zen Den 80. Yes. Also, we have Courtney Robs. Woo! Courtney Robs. Hey, how you doing, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I'm well. So Courtney is the wonderful, beautiful spouse of Vance Robs, aka Coach.
That would be me. Man, that would be me.
So you all have been married for how many years?
We've been married for 10. We've been together for 20. So officially 10.
Amazing. And me and the Mister have been married for 23 years.
Wow.
Something like that.
All right, get to the introduction, baby. Tell everyone, you got to give all her credits and stuff.
So, Courtney is the Queen EO, founder and operator of Virtuous Boss, which is the premier education and consulting firm empowering the next generation. All right, y'all. Holla at Courtney. Y'all can find her at hisvictoriousboss.com. Virtuous Boss, hisvirtuousboss.com. Yes. All right, next we got my girl Olivia, aka O, in the house. What's up?
Hey.
She is the lovely wife of Matty Ice, aka Matty Ice.
What's good.
Yes, and you all have been married for 18 years, yes?
No. Well, it'll be October. In October, it'll be 19 years. 25 years together.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
On 25 years. 98, 97.
98.
Congrats on that.
All right, well, that was a good introduction, a good try, but I still want to introduce my co-hosts, my boys. Let's do it from the real. I known this man since we was in the sandbox together. You know what I'm saying? Before we started rolling together, and we've been together ever since. This is my man, co-host, best friend, my man Vance, aka Coach. What's up, Coach? How you doing, dog?
Hey, what's good with you, Rodney?
Hey, we not gonna let these ladies just run this block. I'm saying.
Don't
Hey man, sometimes you gotta know what battles to fight, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
I'm the sidekick right now, but no, don't get jumped in this joint. Like,
But also, hey, this season, my man agreed to come in. I asked him to join us for this whole season. He's gonna be here. Y'all know him as the Diversified Hustler. Even though we gotta talk to him about, this
this crypto joint, yeah.
But we'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. But this my man, Diversified Hustler. You can catch him on all platforms. You can catch him on the ice cream truck. You can catch him on the storefront. You can catch him everywhere. That's my man, Matty Ice Cold Crypto. What's up,
What's
Matt?
good? What's good? What's good? Happy to be on the show as a official host this year, official co-host, man. Had fun last year doing them, hopping on, man, and yeah, happy to be here. Have a great year.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give it back to my co-host so she can introduce. We're about to do our Twitch self-care check-ins. Talk about it's been a while. We've been on a break. Self-care is very important to hear dad mentality, and I'm sure of all our other platforms here. So make sure if you're not checking in with us, check in with somebody, man. Let them know how you feeling. Let them know how you doing. Go ahead, baby. You can go ahead and start the self-care check-in with.
All right. So, ladies, we are going to do a self-care check-in opposed to the Twitch check-in. From a scale from 0 to 10, how would you rate the past week and why? Or you can just do it over the summertime. Your experiences, times that you felt down or up. Just go ahead and explain to us and the audience what's been going on with you. Olivia, would you go first? Thank you.
Sure. I would probably say this past week has been great. Our youngest had a 21st birthday party, that turned out really, really awesome. And we're just proud of her. And so that kind of spilled over, even though it was a lot of work, seemed like the day of, but it's to be expected. And she was happy overall. And, we just do what we do, right?
Yes.
So I would definitely say this past week was good for me.
Gotta give a number from 0 to 10.
I'm gonna say a 6, 7.
That's what's up.
And that's only because I also have some other challenges that I have to deal with. But overall, the birthday party went well and I had to take a couple of days to recoup. But yeah, I would say a 6, 7.
Come back as fast as you could on them parties no more. We used to snap right back. Man, you get to bed like, oh.
Yep.
All right. So pass it over to Court. How have you been since the summertime overall, or even the past week?
We just ended our trip to Aruba, so I'm still high off of that, and got to celebrate. Well, since we've been back, we've celebrated. We had 3 birthday celebrations, a retirement celebration. So we've been busy the last 2 weeks. We did get a chance to rest. We didn't get home from the airport until about 11:30 that night, and we woke up and went to church the next morning. So, and then we went to dinner for his dad's 80th birthday. And yes, whoop whoop, yes, the big 80. So by the time we got home about 6 o'clock, both of us laid down on the sofa, and I know Van slept from 6 p.m. Sunday night till about 9 or 10 o'clock Monday morning. Like, he was out, and he never sleeps like that. There's nothing for me to do that, but we were tired. Going on vacation with the kids is a whole nother beast, but we had a blast. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 8.75 right now.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So y'all gonna have to explain how y'all took all the kids with y'all, because I saw pictures.
Not on this show, baby.
Okay. We'll have to do sidebar.
After the show, y'all gonna have that.
Got it.
It's on you.
All right. So I would rate my week probably about a 7, 8. Although it's been pretty hectic. To be quite honest, for the whole summer, I've been kind of taking some downtime, some self-care time to really pour into myself, to do some things that need to be accomplish, to just maintain, because I give a lot out during the winter and, during the fall season. I have a lot coming up. Courtney, yes, this coming fall. So I really wanted to kind of just take a step back, and have some downtime before things started to get really busy. Um, oh gosh, what did we do last? Gosh, we've been doing so much, getting prepared for school, and everything. So I would say yes, probably about a 7, 8. I would give my past week an overall summer.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Well, we're gonna go into the fellas. Hey, fellas, it's been a break since we've been doing this, so I know I missed you guys. This joint is definitely an outlet for me. Um, I forgot who I was gonna start with, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with Matt. Go ahead, Matt. You go ahead and get your score in. Let me know how you feel. Give me that.
Let me say, I'm just gonna go off the last couple weeks, not the whole summer. Summer's been good, ups and downs, but mostly good. But for this last 2 weeks, I'm gonna say I've been at about a 7. Like I've been at about a 7, working through some things, but overall feeling good. Just need to get back on my daily walks and doing some things, man. We had a few events last week. All the events went good, but sometimes things don't go as planned with some stuff, but you got to push through, make it happen, show up. So just between, the events, the store, trying to, keep the freezer stocked, with product in there. So that's actually a good thing. But, we've been selling out at the store, so it's been keeping me busy. But overall, I'm feeling good. So I'm gonna say at about a 7, you know what I mean? I'm at about a 7.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go next. So, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. So my summer was excellent. I had a very good summer. Everything was good. My last 2 weeks have been 3 weeks, I would say, have been shit. So my overall score right now, you ask me right now, is about 6. Uh, I've had a lot of things that go wrong in the last few weeks that was out of some of them. Well, all of them was pretty much out of my control, But I had my damn credit card got cloned, money gone. I gotta wait 10 days to get that back. You know what I'm saying? I had some family issues that happened in the last 3 weeks, and I had to shell out. I shelled out a lot of money helping that, which was fine. But then when my credit card got cloned, and then I found that out, that just really messed everything up for me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm keeping it high spirits. So, but before all that, everything was great, man. Me and my wife had a great time in Florida, South Carolina. We took the family, hung out with family, man. We had a great time. So everything was going, everybody, life is about hills and valleys. So right now it's a valley, and my job's stressing me out right now. So that was another thing. So yeah, so right now I would say I'm about a 6, but I know it's going to get better. I get my money back. I can't, I just got to wait 10 days, but I'm going to get my money back. So, it is what it is, man. But, that's why I was very happy to get on the show and talk to my boys and definitely get the ladies involved too. So I'm excited about what's going on and, the things that's coming up for Dad Mentality this season. So I'm good to go. But Vance, you can go ahead and give your mental health check-in.
I mean, the summertime's been pretty good. You know what I mean? And then we kind of capped it off in August with the family vacation. We were fortunate enough to get the kids out. You know what I'm saying? Of the country for the first time, especially the majority of them. Our oldest has been out of the country. We enjoyed, everything on vacation. You know what I mean? Like Courtney had mentioned, we done a couple celebrations to get back. My pops turned 80 the day we came home. We were able to, celebrate with him, which he was grateful for. 80's a good number. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't hit that number. You know what I mean? And fortunately enough, he hit it, and we were blessed that the timing was right. We were able to celebrate that with him. So I think over the summer and the last week, I've been riding between You know what I'm saying? 8.5 to a 9 most of the summer, just mentally. Work, of course, is becoming work again, but I mean, we'll get past that, like you said, Rodney. And like you already mentioned, the good thing about it is you recognize that you're in a valley, and you know that, you know what I'm saying, you'll end up coming out of that valley. So just make sure you remember that and use that as your energy for that. So I'm probably at about this week, probably at about a 9. Only reason I ain't at a 10 is because I think, yeah, I don't know what the bank account look like. To be honest with you, at this point, so
That's
we
what I was
might
about to go into.
we might be eating hot dogs and pork beans
Ash,
for a little
'cause I
bit.
was like,
You
yo,
know what I mean?
I saw the pictures on that vacation. I was like, my man savings account is fried, son. But it's fried. You got all
Yeah,
the
you know what I'm saying?
kids.
I'm out here like I'm Matty Ice with cryptocurrency
Yeah.
freewheeling. You know what I mean? And that's
Hey, hey.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just started throwing cards away as they hit decline. You know what I mean? It's just move to the next card. You know what I mean? So, but nah, overall, I'm probably at a 9 this week. You know what I'm saying? 8 for the summer. So, but like you recognize being in the valley, I recognize that it's a high coming. So, I mean, I'm on a high now, so I might be in a valley. So I just got to remember these good times
I remember the
for
good times.
when
Absolutely.
when I am going through something stressful or just bringing me down a little bit. So that's where I am.
I had a discussion with my nephew today because he was going through something. I was like, look, man, I'm going through something too, but I know it's temporary, man. Don't let temporary issues affect permanent things you're doing. Like you're doing stuff to better your life and do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Don't let something that's temporary stop you from doing something that you want to be permanent. So, you know, that's how I've just been living and thinking about it. But hold on, let me give it back to the host because we about to get into this conversation of relationships, love, and family. So I'll let the host take over.
All right, all right. So we have a compilation of so many years, at least 60 plus years that all of us have been together. Rodney and I have been together for 23 years. Vance and Courtney, 20 years.
We've been together for 28 years. I did all that time. Don't take nothing away. We've been married 23, but I've been working since 28 years.
Yes, yes, honey, you're right. You've been working. Let me give you your credit. You've been working
Don't
for
take a day away from
28
me.
years. Okay. And Vance and Courtney have been married for 20 years, and O and Matt have been married for 19 years coming up, married.
But they've been together a lot longer than that.
Yes, they have. So a couple of questions we want to start with, and I'm gonna pose this question to the ladies. All right. So how long? No, we already talked about how long you've been married. I wanted to know what was your spouse's personality type during the first 2 to 3 years of being married compared to their personality type now. And we can start with Courtney.
Hold on, I'm gonna break it down just a little bit so everybody understands what's being asked. So okay. So when I met my wife, she used to get excited if I brought her an ice cream Snickers.
That's
So
because I was in high school, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm just saying. Now, an ice cream Snickers, I don't even get that. Yeah, she'd probably throw it in the trash. Be like, you trying to make me gain weight. You know what I'm saying? You know, so back in the day, I could do something simple like that because, you know, what you call it, but we all changed. We've all changed. There's one thing that we did talk about on Dad Mentality is changes as men and just changes in relationships. So the question is, compare yourself, not your spouse, because we want to talk about ourselves. How you was when the relationship first started, and how you are now, even together as a couple. So there you go. Whoever wants to go first, but Vicky said lady, so you know who wants to go.
Yes.
So I'm talking about myself now and the beginning versus now. And it's been a very dramatic change or shift, I would say. I mean, 20 years, you're definitely a different person. I told Vance you have like Courtney 2.0, 3.0. So I guess this is
I like that.
20.0 now.
I like that.
And I listen a lot more. I probably didn't listen well at all. And I had a mouth like, oh boy.
No way, Courtney.
I had a mouth, oh gosh, and so now I'm definitely a lot more patient. I listen more. I have a tame tongue, and I think before I speak, I used to have this premise that if it was true, it was okay to say, and now I know that I have to wrap everything in love. And it's not necessarily what I'm saying, it's how I'm not just how I'm saying it, but when I'm saying it. So I might have to pick the right time to have a difficult conversation or say something that's hard to say or bring up. So there's been a lot of changes over the year on my side. I remember one time I told Vance something about us arguing, and whatever it was about us going back and forth. He was like, yeah, I kind of been doing that for years. Like, I don't go back and forth with you. I just let you get it all out. And I'm like, well, why can't you tell me that that's the trick? Like, you just sometimes you just gotta hear a person out, take that in, digest it, and then come back. Before I would just give you back with the first thing that come to mind. And of course, the first thing that come to mind, depending on what I'm feeding, if I'm feeding my flesh, it's gonna be real flashy, and I mean, might have some bad words in there. But that was then. So I think we communicate a lot better now. I can't even think of the last time that we argue. We might he say his piece, now I say my piece, and it is what it is. We come back to it. So we've grown a lot. And I think the biggest thing in our relationship, or as far as me, is just how I communicate with him.
Amazing.
Let's keep it with the couple. So go ahead, Vance. You go ahead and answer next. And
Look, Courtney from PG County. She wasn't gonna let nobody talk to her any kind of way. And what PG County girl don't speak of their mind? Like, I haven't met one yet. You know what I mean? So but the whole listening thing is, it was key. The reason why I started listening, though, to give Courtney her credit, is I was never winning them arguments. Like, my mind was not working fast enough for the rebuttal when she was screaming, yelling, bruh. So it was like, all right, let me just be quiet, take this on the chair, and then come back when I actually have formulated my thoughts, right? So, and so that
let's go to you, Van. So when you first started, what was your change though?
So I think my biggest change from when we first came into our marriage is like, it was a lot of things that I would let go. I wouldn't say. They would go unsaid. So, and I think part of that was just me not wanting to voice my opinion on the matter, because it was either the little things, but all those little things start building up, and then it creates a bigger argument. So I kind of bit my tongue on a lot of things, and it was just like, all right, whatever, and move on. I think now the communication level is at the level where it's like, I can say it, feel comfortable saying it, because she's listening, and then we actually come back to the resolution, right? If we don't resolve it there, we'll come back and resolve it at a different time. But I don't. In the beginning, I will hold back my thoughts and everything, and not say what I meant or say how I felt. Now I'm gonna say how I feel. You know what I mean? Just because for me, it's at least I said it, and she can't come to me and say, well, you didn't articulate that to me, or you didn't say that to me. Had I known that, I would have reacted different. Well, I said it, and if you still react that way, then that's something that she has to deal with, right? Because I said it. You know what I mean? Now we can come back together and deal with it together, but that's probably been our biggest growth in communication. It's like, just say what it is and then move on.
Yeah, definitely holding it in. It grows into a monster if you hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something simple. Next thing you know, you're not even fighting about you not fighting about right. But you've been holding in left this whole time. That's really what you're upset about. But right just is the thing that is right now. So you just yelling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, you can go next.
I think for me, I still am, but I was very, very sensitive. Like he say one thing, he could definitely be a little rough around the edges, and he's gotten better. But it was just like he say something, and I'd be like, "You, but you don't love me." And you know, it's just like you like, but I ain't mean it like that. Like you taking too much to heart. Like I ain't even said nothing, but to me, I just always was sensitive, but I've definitely learned as you see your grandparents and they say something and you want to say, well, why you ain't correct them on that, or why you ain't say nothing back? It's not even that serious. We already we had a lot of communication. We've always been big on communication because I say the same thing that I think you said, Vance. Like I might shut down for a minute, but we got to talk about it. Like I can't articulate what I want to say at this very moment because I'm thinking about it. I'm holding it in. What I'm gonna say, and then I would have to be like, we need to talk about it, or you hurt my feelings, or I didn't like when you said, or I ain't like when you did, or you know. But now it's like, okay, all right. So I think I got a little bit more thicker. My skin has gotten thicker, but not so much that I need to have a thick skin because he's definitely learned how to treat me with kid gloves and know how to deal with me in my sensitivity.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
nah,
Totally.
I agree.
Sure. How about you, Matt?
It's honestly like she said. I would say my growth is definitely being more patient. I think I wasn't very patient early on. Sometimes at quick temper because I never used to argue or yell, but like she said, I was just rough around the edges. Like, we was young, what I mean? We 17, 18 years old. I'm thinking, I'm grown out here, what I mean, doing my thing. So I just had a certain way with me sometimes. And, but that was kind of what drew me to her because she was real mild mannered and mild tempered. She, what I mean? She from PG County too, but she was very, very, very delicate, what I mean? So so that's what kind of drew me to her. And so I had to learn that even though she may not feel that way, or I might have not meant it that way, but if it hurt her feelings, that's the way she took it. So you got to sometimes take people's feelings into consideration. You know what I mean? Like you can't always be like, well, I ain't mean it like that. You know what I mean? Because it's real to them. You know what I mean? So over time, I've realized like, I can't say that like that. You know what I mean? I need to slow down a little bit. Make sure I'm taking her feelings and her thoughts or suggestions on matters into account, and not just like, oh, I don't worry about that. And just keep it moving, you know what I mean? So just patience, man. I've gotten a lot more patient over the years. I can say that's probably my biggest thing. Even with the kids, you know what I mean? Because we was young having kids. So I used to just frustrated so quick with the kids sometimes. And now I'm a totally different dude. It took some time, you know what I mean? It's been over 2 decades in the making, but I'm definitely a lot more patient, man. Mild temper. I still got my ways, you know what I mean? I'm still a little rough around the edges. That's just who I'm gonna be, but I'm definitely a different dude who I was at this point in my life.
Y'all all a little rough around the edges.
The positive show.
I'm being positive. That's not a negative thing.
I ain't said nothing yet. So don't put me in their
some of
category.
us love rough around the edges.
Hello.
Yeah.
As long as now that we know what we know,
That's right.
you accept it a little different.
Exactly. So it's interesting as I listen to all the couples, it's like a resounding, communication and how you receive things, how you present things. And I think about when me and Rodney first got married, we were also very young. And we had our first child young, and then our child was also experiencing some health challenges. And so we had a lot piled up on our plates. And so communication was just not there at all. Like it was not there. I think for me, I also took things very I was very sensitive. I literally came from my father's house to my husband's house. And just trying to grow up, trying to figure out who I was um, in my own skin as a mother and a wife, thinking about how, everything, how things were presented in my household. And I expected things to be the same way. So my expectations were skewed initially. And, just really understanding where Rodney came from, understanding that he was rough around the edges, understanding he was super sarcastic, that I had to have a thick skin. But
We're supposed to be talking about you, baby.
I am. I am. Yep. I had to have a thick skin and I couldn't take everything personal because that's how he was. And so he meant well by what he said, but how he presented it may have not been the right way. Or I didn't receive it well because of the way he said it. And I would take it personally, like a shot to my heart or a shot to my gut. And I had to, over time, build up the thick skin, exactly like you said, Olivia. Um, and I did try a lot of different ways to communicate. But I couldn't keep up. Like the way that Rodney talks, and I could not keep up. My thought process is, okay, let me take in what you say, let me sit with it, let me come up with my own opinion and thought process towards it. I could not come back right like this. I couldn't do that. And he would be like, "What? Say something, say," like, you know what I'm saying? And so I couldn't do that. And so I had to learn, like, okay, thank you for talking. I appreciate it. Let me pause, let me think on it, and then let's have a follow-up discussion. But there's so many elements that of everything that you all said, like we all had to deal with in the first couple years of our relationship, getting to know who our spouse was, what their temperament was, what irked them, what bothered them, what they liked and what they didn't like. So for me, it was just it was a lot of those things. A lot of those.
Okay.
But we also, can I say something really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
At the being so young, we're trying to learn them, but we trying to learn ourselves. Like we don't even have the how to deal with these emotions and these feelings, and
That's right.
we trying to learn ourselves as well. So it definitely is we have to balance it. But yeah, that's why we've been together for so long. I'm sure that's the same for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
It's kind of like okay, I got to take in what they say and then balance it with my own mind and thoughts. So, am I tripping? Is this what he says? Okay, am I taking this personal? You have to have a conversation with yourself, before you then come back at your spouse because you may have everything twisted. You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely. I'm sorry.
No, you good? All right, man. So me myself, I can only begin to tell you there's a ton of things that I've changed and learned. Um, the biggest one that I learned, well, I had to we got into it. The real thing I believe is that we didn't know ourselves. And when you're coming up and even in your 20s, you're still learning yourself. You're not there. You know what I'm saying? You think you know it all, but you don't. And, I had to really learn myself and learn that these things are not important. Like, why am I upset because my wife doesn't agree with me? Why am I upset because, of anything that I'm out of character? And that was one of the biggest things I had to learn was that I can't let anything else control me but me. And it took a long time. It took a real long time. I mean, even when it comes to my wife, my job, my friends, whoever, like I can't let none of that control me. I have to control myself, and being patient and understanding that these things are not that serious. Like this argument is not that serious. She loves you. You love her. Like, why are you arguing about the tooth on the toothpaste, the toothpaste tube, and the little things? Just and it's all about what I think Vance went into, that the little things, you let the little things just keep on adding to the point you just exploding about nothing. Nothing. And you're not even talking about what your real issue is. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about something stupid because you let all this stuff add up, opposed to even realizing that some of the things are not even worth the attention. So I think that was the biggest thing I learned now, is that I don't let anything else control my emotions. And then if I do, I now recognize that that's my fault. That has nothing to do with my wife. That has nothing to do with whatever we're talking about. If I act out of character, that's because I chose to act out of character. It's not my wife made me do this, or my job made me do this, or the stress made me do whatever. Nah, I chose. I made that decision, so I have to live with it. So that's one of the biggest things that I think I learned that helped our relationship in my marriage. That I knew that I control what I'm doing. My wife can't make me do nothing. I decide to do it. So that was the biggest thing that I learned throughout the years of marriage, and that I like to pass off. So we're gonna go into the next topic real quick, and I'm gonna start it off because I'm explaining to you the next question. It's not on here, that's why. But so we had a discussion, and I wanted to bring this up for the ladies to see how they feel. We had a discussion on an episode of Dad Mentality where we talked about our daughters and talked about how I feel that women in these days are being taught something in society or music or this, that, and other. So to me, it stems back into like the 1970s and the 80s, where welfare and everything came out, and they was teaching women, oh, well, you don't need a man, you can be on government assistance. But in order to be on government assistance, you can't have a man in your household. So men are not important. And I feel like, and that was when they was incarcerating us at mass rate to fill the jails, to make money, this, that, and the other. We getting arrested for anything, no trials, doing that in the 80s, 90s. But I feel like that is still being taught, just in a different way. So, like, for instance, your top Black artists, you got your Beyonce, your Rihanna's, you got Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. They all talking about, going out there, leading with sex, this, that, and the other. And, to the left, we don't need him. If he ain't there, you can do it all by yourself, which is all empowerment. And I understand that, but it becomes to a point where now in today's society, I feel like the problem is that Black men or men are being out here like they're not important. So my question to you is, with your daughters and your family, do you feel like that is still being taught to them? Or do you feel like, and you having Black men in your life, and the crazy thing is that all these artists are all married. They're all married, but they all have songs talking about being independent. You don't need a man, or check him to the left, and, whatever the case may be. So how do you feel about that message that's being sent to our kids and our daughters, and the importance of having a husband or, a real man in your daughter's life, and even with you as a spouse? So, Vicky, do you want to start with that, or start? So that's my question.
All right, so I thought about this question a little bit, and I actually went online and I found some additional information. I feel like it started way before the 1970s. I actually feel like it started even in slavery time period, where they separated the male from the female and the babies. They completely ripped our families apart. And so the structure of the family foundation or the Black family foundation has always been rocky, has always been, I don't want to say non-existent, but it's been torn apart so badly that it's literally innately in our bloodline, and we have to break that blood curse basically. And in order to mend it back together, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but I definitely feel like the artists are contradicting themselves, and they are putting on a showcase and not believing necessary. They're doing a job, but they're not realizing the job that they're doing is impacting the young girls of today's society. It's impacting mindsets, it's impacting culture, it's impacting so many different avenues that um it's just going to have a generational ripple effect, basically.
Impact.
Impact. Thank you, babe. Generational impact. And I remember back in the day, I talk about this often. Back in the day, how music used to be socially conscious. When was that change? Right? Remember, Fight the Power. It was messages to our Black community about society, about the families, about our Black queens. There was a switch. There was a switch that happened, and I know that switch was on purpose to dumb our Black families down, to dumb our Black down, right? And in order for us to be able to come back from that, we have to have more artists. Just like in slavery, every song that was sang in slavery was a message. It was a message to the other slave, to the other town, about in the patterns of your braids was the roadmap. There were little intricate things that we did in our culture that was specific to binding us together. And we have to get back to a place where our family is important to us, our next door neighbor is important to us, our daughters, our kids, and we have to set the example for them. The media is not going to do it. Us as parents, us as a community, us as friends, we all need to be able to teach and cultivate our generations, because they're not going to do it. They're waiting on that paycheck.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I think we are our daughter's first teachers. And so regardless of what the world says or what music may be saying, they see what goes on in our household. And you mentioned something, you asked a question like, where is it? And I was like, this is us right now. This is it. Like this is Black love. These are Black families. And Rodney ended up saying it, that all four of the ladies he mentioned are married. And I think there's a fine line between teaching our daughters to be independent and knowing how to care for themselves and teaching them that they don't need a man. Those are two different things, and the line is really thin. And so Beyonce saying to the left, because she knows her worth. She's getting rid of that dude because he didn't know her worth. Whereas now I don't know about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. That's a whole nother story that I can't even get into because I can't name but only one or two songs. But I think it's a matter of a narrative that America wants to show the world about Black families, but we see it. We see it every day. We know, we are in the community and we know what's going on. And if they choose to believe that, that's on them. But we know that we have Black fathers are the most present fathers as far as any ethnicity in America.
Hey, that girl.
So you about to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say exactly that. Like, Black fathers are the most present fathers in their family in America, and that's even with our incarceration numbers. So it's kind of like what we do with our families, and the message that they put out there in the media to our kids and to the world are two different things. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is we as Black families and married families, or even Black fathers that are in their kids' lives, in their daughters' lives, show them the man's worth but we got to flip the script and flip the story, right? And we got to do that through the messaging. You know what I mean? Because the messaging isn't about keeping families together. The messaging is about money.
Yes,
It's about what sells.
that's right.
You know what I mean? So in order to impact that, people gotta start, like you said, Vicky, the genre has to change, the music has to change. You know what I mean? It's amazing that people rally when something goes wrong with anybody Black. We need to rally around the messaging that's being taught to our kids and so forth. So and the good thing about it is, for as much as they talk about bringing our families apart, there's a lot of people that are messaging Black wealth and all that other stuff too. So I think our kids are being exposed to a lot more things than what we were exposed to, right? Because we were always exposed to the bad stuff, right? You know, we weren't exposed to wealth and all that other. We were exposed to, you know what I'm saying, drugs and you know what I'm saying? Everybody's against you, the man is against you, and so forth and so forth. This next generation is exposed to not only, you know what I'm saying, what you talked about as far as the marriage and families, but they're exposed on how to change that generational wealth, how to change their circumstances.
They experienced a Black president.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's because, like you said, it starts at the household level. Starts with us as parents. You know what I mean? Like I spoke, I think I was on that show. We spoke about, you know, I was fortunate to have the relationship that I have with my daughter, you know, to be able to, you know, take her to school every day, for her to see, you know, me and her mom together, you know what I mean? Like just love in the household and different things like that. So it definitely starts there. So she knows her worth and she knows what to expect. So she's not going to allow a man to disrespect her. She's going to know she needs somebody who takes care of her, you know what I mean? But at the same time, she is very independent in her own mindset. Like she wants to work. She wants to have her own money. Like that's very important to her. You know, we and her had a discussion yesterday because she's going to school full time, doing some things. So she was like, my bank account low, but she was like, I don't want to ask you for any money. Like I want my own. Not that she won't, you know what I mean? But she will get to that point where before she will need it before she just asks for it. And I told her I commend her for that, you know what I mean? So it starts in the home first. And like you said, I didn't even know that statistic that of Black fathers and different things like that, you know, because that is what we see. You know, a lot of Black households did get torn apart, you know, in the 80s and 90s because of, you know, not depending on where you grew up at, you know, because of, you know, crack and different things. So a lot of the Black families did get destroyed, you know what I mean? So I still think it's still work that needs to be done, you know what I mean? Because even though we are empowered by, like you said, people saying how to create wealth, you know what I mean? Kids see more, but they also seeing a lot of other things on the other side too. So it's honestly where their attention is, you know what I mean? So if we're starting off in the home place and we're pushing their attention on the right things, this is how you create wealth. This is what you're doing, you know, teaching our kids how to invest at an early age and showing them those things. But at the same time, if they don't have anyone saying that, then their attention is getting directed to the music, you know, to the artists with Sexy Red, you know what I mean? They just talking crazy on the songs now. Like that's not who you want your daughter looking up to. Like at the end of the day, we know it's entertainment, you know what I mean? But we don't see any other culture pushing violence and sex on their kids like they allow Black entertainers to do. You know, if anybody else was talking about killing and doing that, like they wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? They wouldn't allow
Taylor
it.
Swift ain't talking about popping nothing.
Okay.
But
Ain't popping nothing.
That's all you hear. You know what I mean? And it's acceptable. Like, just look at TV. Like some of the stuff they push on TV, you couldn't push that on TV when we was growing up. Now it's like, man, you like they cuss on TV, they show sex on daytime TV, like so. And it's right in the palm of our kids' hands. Like, man, like literally, like you don't know what they consuming on that phone. So it's you definitely got to teach them, man. We got to teach them. the right way. And if we do our job, I think they'll be okay, man. You're like, you know what I mean? So our example right here, you know what I mean? Our kids growing up in a 2-parent household, they see, you know, 11 father, 11 wife. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. Like, you know what I mean? Like growing up, you know, unfortunately, some people grow up in dysfunctional domestic violence type households. So as they grow up, they think that's normal. You know what I mean? So we just gotta continue to, you know, change the narrative, man. Have more families like this, and even kids who don't have that, you know, reach out. You know what I mean? Reach out to some of these other kids. Like, nah, you don't have to be that way. You know what I mean? There's another way out here. That's not normal. That's what they teaching you is normal.
Right.
That is not normal.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, it was supposed to be ladies first, Matt, but you know, go ahead and cut your wife off. And I felt like she had some very good points. So
she get her points. She gonna get her points too. You know, I thought my fault. I thought we was kind of open discussion.
Ladies first.
No, that's okay. I definitely agree with everything that he has said and Vance and Courtney has said. But I am a product of that broken home because of drug abuse and because, you know, of everything that was happening in the 80s. And that is what led me to be the way that I was. You're either going to you're going to go the way that you see, or you're going to go the opposite way and want nothing to do with none of that. And that was what my point of view was when Matt and I started dating. I'm like, it has to be this way. These are my expectations. When I first got pregnant, it's just like, look, let me know if you're gonna be here, because if you're not, because I can't have it. I don't want my kids to grow up the way I did. So that was very important. And the whole music thing, it's crazy. I'm glad that our kids have the little old souls, if you wanna call it that. But we have to I've been an example of, for my daughter, what type of woman and wife she should be. And then I've also been an example of what my son, what he should be looking for in a girl or a female that he's, you know, thinking about being attached to. You know, luckily we literally had a whole courting situation. I didn't feel like I just seen him as like, oh, let me try to hurry up and get with her. No, I really felt like we were courting. Love letters, cards, you know, it was definitely different. So we talk to them and we teach them like that. And we don't argue in our household. We've never have. We don't raise our voice at each other. It does start at home, and I'll leave it at that.
That's good. No, that's good, Olivia. All right. Well, I just brought this up because it just kind of bothered me a little bit that it's like the artists out there saying one thing and then doing another. And then I had a conversation with my daughter. I was like, even Cardi B, she's married. Like, yo, she talking about she doing all this stuff, but she ain't doing it. And then I was like, yeah, she's just like the rappers in the 90s talking about they selling all these drugs, they busting all these guns, and he went to Stanford. You know what I'm saying? Their English major at Stanford. How the hell are you talking about you selling all these drugs? You doing all this stuff. So, and I just had that conversation with her, and I was like, you gotta really look at what's really going on here. I was like, they pushing this product, but they not living it. It's just like you sell drugs, but you're not taking drugs. You know what I'm saying? So it was just one of those things that, I was talking to my daughter about, and I just wanted to bring it up and see how y'all felt. And yeah, and I definitely agree that it begins with the household. Like, and we talked about, I date my daughter. I live with her. She knows, man. She had a little so-called boyfriend. And every time she brought him up, I called him by the wrong name every time. Never called him by his right name. I was like, no, I'm not respecting this dude. I don't know this dude. Nah, he ain't put in my work. When he put in my work, then I respect him. I'm going to treat him just like my father-in-law treat me. I've been married 23 years. That dude still don't bring me food. Come over here and bring food for everybody in the house except for me. Even today, this man brought a sub today, one sub, and they're gonna tell me, "Oh, I ain't know if you was gonna be here or if you were hungry. You ain't know if nobody else was gonna be here or hungry, but you still brought the sub, yeah."
That sub was good too, babe. That Jersey Mike's. My bad.
Yeah. Then he gonna act like you like, next time. Yeah, you've been doing this for 20-something years. Come on, man. You ain't bringing me nothing. I already know how this works. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, because he said he wanted to be on the show too, so we're gonna see about that. But anyway, we're gonna go. Oh, baby, you're the host. You're gonna go talk about the next one.
Yes, I am.
Mhm.
So,
What you think so far?
going back to the relationships, so when you notice your spouse, or you want to call them your life partner, when you've noticed their change, how did you adapt your behavior to meet the moment of growth for that change? I guess I can give an example,
Yeah.
or you want to give an example?
No,
I'll
you
give
give
an
it
I'll
to
give an
her.
example. So when Rodney began to change, I was very hesitant because it was a long time before that change took
Stop bothering
place. However, when it came about, I had to take a step back, and I was like, he's doing this different. He's responding different. His actions are different. And then I would test to see if it was real. I would test to see, yes, I did. I test to see if it was real, if the change was real, and if it was permanent. And I just, eventually he was consistent, and I stopped testing. Um, and I began to say, okay, he's changing. I have to change as well. I have to change my response. I can't respond the same way I used to because that's a different person. I am a different person, so I need to meet the moment where he is. I need to come up to this level and stop coming down to a lower self. I need to come up to continue the change habits, to continue reinforcing positivity, to continue to reinforcing that positive change that he's making. And so when I began to see that he was making those changes, I would do little things. My behavior would change in certain areas. I would, as everybody knows, Rodney typically cooks in the house like almost 345 days. He cooks in the house. I normally cook only on Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I began to do like Sunday dinners on a regular basis, and do them all like with no support from him, bring his plate to him, like because he's really independent, always has been. And so I began to do those little softer things that he wasn't expecting, and I began to be more consistent. His behavior began to be more consistent. So it was like a balancing act. Now that he's growing, I'm doing some other things to reinforce that positive behavior.
Who you want to go first, one?
Okay.
No, baby. Want me? Oh, okay. Shit, I forgot the question. You was talking. But nah, well, my wife, I definitely changed first, so it had nothing to do. Well, my wife was already higher. Stop hitting them. My wife was already high in her level anyway, and I started getting my shit together. So, you know, like I said, I grew and I realized that I've always already talked about on the show. The biggest thing that I learned was about myself was that I am I'm blanking on it. I have abandonment issues. That's it. I have abandonment issues. My abandonment issues is 90% of my issues because it's so deep rooted in me that it was anything could trigger me. And I had to tell my wife about this. Like she went to New Orleans. She went to New Orleans for a job. And she goes, and her parents like to come get Jonathan. And I told her, I was like, and I had to tell her, I was like, babe, you gotta tell me if they're coming to get him. Because if they just come and get him, it triggers me because you're already gone. Now they're taking my child. Now I'm home alone. my abandonment starts triggering, and I start. Next thing you know, I'm starting to fight with anybody because I'm not, because that's how it makes me feel. It's so deep rooted. So that was the best thing I learned, because I started really slowing it down. Like, my wife's not leaving me. She's just going to the store. Like, I ain't got to get upset. But this is all stuff that I didn't talk to her about. Like, I just get triggered. And if I know she's getting ready to leave to go somewhere or go out of town or this, that, and other, I started a fight every single time she left. I started one every single time. And that's me. It had nothing to do with her. And I mean, you know, she goes and hangs out with her friends. It's still all just like these triggers. I learned that I don't gotta do that. Like, I'm okay. Like, relax. She's coming back. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to start these fights. So once I learned that, then I started moving different because I didn't get upset. I'm okay. I started encouraging her to go, encouraging her to doing these things, to have trips, to go to Africa, this, that, and other. Now, when she did go to Africa, I did flip out because she didn't call me. I flipped the fuck out. But I apologized the next day because it's my problem. Because she got mad because I'm yelling at her. I didn't care if she was on a bus. I was going off. I was like, why the hell you didn't call me? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I was just flipping out. And she was like, and she didn't understand that. She was like, what do you mean? I just left. I ain't even been here 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? But that's my problem. That's my Achilles heel. That's it. Like, once I solved that problem, then I was able to start going to the next level. Once I realized that problem, and that was through going to a counselor, talking to somebody about it, where they brought it to me. And when he said it, it was like the biggest, it was, you know what it was? It was like a demon left my back. Like, that was my demon. That was it. That was the only thing holding me back from being successful was that abandonment. And it sounds so simple when you tell it to somebody, they just are like, abandonment issues, really? I can't wait for my wife to leave, or these kids, or this, that, and the other. You know, I have that conversation with my daughter. I told her, I said, when you go to college, I'm going to be a mess. Like, I'm going to be happy for you, but I'm going to lose my mind. So I'm just letting you know now, don't take it personal. This has nothing to do with you. This is my problem. And I'm working on it, but I'm not perfect. And that was the other thing I learned, that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I tell Vicky that all the time. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm sorry. You know, baby, I'm trying, but I'm not perfect. And that was when she said she would test me. And I look at her, I was like, you don't need to test me, because I'm telling you, then you're setting me up for fail. You need to set me up for success, because I already know I'm flawed. I'm telling you I'm flawed. So you don't need to test me. You don't need to test me. We already know. We can agree I'm flawed. You know what I'm saying? We can agree on that. So why test me on it? You know, I'm flawed. Go ahead. You want to say?
Yeah, I think when you begin to verbalize your flaws, that's when I was able to say, okay, he recognizes that, and then I don't need to test him anymore because he recognizes it. I recognize it. I don't need to move forward with this action anymore. And it showed me your growth. It showed me that you were willing to be vulnerable.
So that's that. Who wants to go next?
Good stuff, man. Good stuff right there. I don't know. You want to go, babe?
Go ahead.
You go first. You said
Okay.
ladies first.
Well, I would probably say once he started changing with the whole patience thing, and with being more patient with the kids, and being more patient, and like I said, the kid gloves with me. I just encouraged him, or I would acknowledge it, just last night, because it doesn't stop. I call him my forever boyfriend. just last night I had to, or was it this morning, I had to, just give him the acknowledgement that I recognize something. I just feel like you have to acknowledge it, because when you don't, it's like she ain't paying attention no way. I'm doing all this for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. I definitely call him the captain of the ship, the head coach, and I'm the coach, head coach. I mean, I just acknowledge it and just try to build him up as much as possible. It's so much that he has to deal with when he leaves and walks out of the house, that stress and strife shouldn't be in your household. I mean, that's where you lay your head at, where you're supposed to have some peace. And I definitely never wanted to bring any addition to that, being a Black male and young and raising a family, raising kids. So I just have always tried to acknowledge him and bring things to the forefront and encouraging him to continue doing what he's doing. Or, you got to be a backup for them. When they feeling low, you have to build them back up. You have to commend them for what they do. So yeah, that's kind of been the norm for us. So I just try to make sure that he knows it.
My forever boyfriend. I love that.
Yep.
And I definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because I definitely need it at times. Everybody like some encouragement, appreciation. But as far as the question about like us learning, I would say we kind of started growing together. It was like around a certain time where we probably started getting more into our mental health, and what I mean, just kind of changing our mindset. So we kind of started going through that period around the same time. Like I got to, just reading books, man, and and that kind of made me be a lot more patient, because I started knowing some of my ways I was acting was more so the way I was thinking about different things. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't have to always be so, aggressive, or, what I'm saying, be more positive. You know what I mean? Speak things into existence that you want to happen. So, and then we started kind of going down that rabbit hole together. And I would say that was kind of our growth point. That was probably more than a decade ago now. We still young. It was probably around the time we turned 30. It was around turned about 30 years old. Was definitely going through a whole new chapter in my life at that time, dealing with some serious things was going on. So I was like, man, I got to make some changes out here. You know what I mean? And she definitely held me down through that situation. And that was like I would say the turning point in my life, as far as how I act, the way I think. You know what I mean? So, and like she said, she definitely was there for me, and always have been. Definitely appreciate it.
Awesome. Vance and Courtney?
Say what?
I said you go first.
Ladies first.
Oh, you can go first. I'm still thinking.
Man, she feels. I mean, I think that, so like when I first noticed, you know what I'm saying, Courtney changing, was she had went to a church program called Queen Esther. It was before we were married. And you want to go ahead? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say technically Queen Esther started in September, and by November I was like, oh, we gotta get married. Like, we've been living together for 8 years. It's time to, like, I was convicted. Like, we've been living together, and we've been together for 10 years. We've been living together for 8 years. God was like, all right, Courtney, you're gonna stop waiting for this man to get perfect, because you not perfect. So why you think he gotta be perfect? And he loves you he loves me with all my flaws. So I have to do the same. So God spoke to me very clearly that it was time. I'm sorry,
yeah, there you go. So when that happened, right? You know what I mean? I knew that she was at the very least like working on herself, right? So when you see your spouse working on themselves, it's almost like forces you to look at yourself internally to be like, all right, she getting herself together, and I know I ain't right, so I gotta do something. I gotta figure out what's wrong with me, right? So it's amazing how, like I think Vicky and Rodney said it, and both Matt and Olivia said it. Like as one grows, it forces the other one to take an internal look to grow, right? And when you find that magical thing of encouraging growth, it just starts reciprocating back and forth, right? And then you grow closer as a couple, you grow better as an individual, and you just have to continue to build on it. Now, that doesn't say that we don't revert back from time to time, but
Not perfect.
True.
but it does give us the formula to come out of just about everything, right? And move forward. So it's kind of like, all right, when we get to a bad spot or we get to a spot where we know it's going to get contentious, all right, let's look at ourselves internally. Let's see where we need to fix ourselves. Because once we do that, we know that we'll come back to one accord. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I've been trying to operate with Courtney, because the minute I see her start growing, I literally start looking at myself and be like, all right, I need to get some things together because she's moving, so I need to start moving. And when she sees me moving, she does almost the exact same thing, right?
Let her tell her own story.
I will. I'll let her tell her. I'll let her. You got your.
Now,
I saw you write stuff down, right? So
I think we need a
you
playbook.
ready to go. I covered for you long enough for going first. Yeah.
I think we need a playbook, coach.
I had to write everything down because I forget. But I remember when we first got married, someone gave me the book, The Power of a Praying Wife. And I looked at the table of contents. I was like, his occupation, his prayer life, it was like his. I was like, what is this? I thought it took me probably 3 years into our marriage to really pick that book up and read it and dig into it, because of course the whole premise behind the power of a praying wife is that we can't change them. That's God's work. And so all we can do on our end is pray. And so we were talking about this earlier, saying how marriage is a mirror, and it basically shows you your flaws. And so it allowed me to focus just to get to me. What's wrong? What do I need to work on to be a better wife? And really just praying to God and saying, hey, you created this man. He is your son. How am I supposed to love him? Like, how does he receive love? And I know that Vance is very much so one of his really close to second place. It comes really close to first. His second love language is words of affirmation. So I know that he needs that, and he wants me to be his biggest cheerleader. So I guess the thing with love languages is that you love the way you want to get it. And so just kind of trying to flip that so that because I can do without the word. I can encourage myself. I can do without the words of affirmation, but that's what he needs.
She'll buy me 100 polos though, and I only need 2. You know why? Because her love language is gifts, right? So I don't need all the gifts. I just need you to tell me, hey, babe, you did a good job today in my 2 polos, right? But I had 30 polos, and she wouldn't say jack about how great of a job I was.
We're still working. We're a work in progress.
We all, yes.
Always will be. Always will be.
For sure. Yes, thank y'all so much. Yo, this has been so exciting and so enriching. I truly appreciate everyone's point of view, everyone's perspective. I'm telling you, Coach, you need to go ahead and write the playbook right now. Get everybody a chapter, write some different plays and stuff like that.
We done, baby? I thought you had one more question, or no? That's it?
No, one more. Yes, you are right. My husband is right. You are right, sir.
Oh, thank you.
You
I
are.
think that's the first time you said that in 23 years.
So, last question to the ladies and the men. If you think about the day before you said I do, what would you tell your younger self? Take a second to think about it.
We're gonna make it quick because we gotta get this time going. So you only get one sentence. And
Oh,
don't
that's
put no ands.
Yeah.
And nah, you got one quick statement. Like you get to run past yourself and be like, don't do it, run.
well, mine
You
is
got one
easy.
statement.
It's easy since I only have one sentence, and we did this couples in discipleship at church, and we read this book, and the premise of the book is God didn't create marriage to make you happy; He created it to make you holy. And so, if I would have known that earlier, yeah, it could have been helpful.
Put it on a t-shirt. Put it on a t-shirt.
Get it on the t-shirt. Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest one sentence is always be patient.
Okay. All right.
My answer would be fairy tales do come true.
Oh, look at that, Maddie.
Hold on. So when y'all first got married, it wasn't a nah, I gotta ask you, I gotta ask you. So when y'all first got married, it wasn't a fairy tale?
You gave her a whole coin for that.
What'd you say, Rodney?
I said when y'all first got married, it wasn't a fairy tale, or
No,
it was
it was. It was,
understand,
but
but
everything.
this is supposed to be the day before her wedding.
Yeah, no,
So
they do come true.
okay.
We had no ill will, I had no questions or doubts about anything, but the odds were statistically they were against us. Nobody thought that that teenage love really blossoms and blooms, and
Man,
some
okay.
people didn't think that it would last, but I literally live a fairy tale.
Nice, man. Man. Shit, I should have had you on the show earlier. Help us all out. Shit.
I would say my one thing I would have told myself was probably pray more and be patient.
All right, Victoria.
I would say this one is it.
One sentence. Come on, baby.
Okay.
You wrote it down.
I would say it's worth it. It's worth it.
Great answer. Great answer.
Great answer.
Run. Nah, I'm just playing, but nah, for real. If it was it all right. If now I got so. I just got to get a crap. Yeah, it's just it'll be work on you. That'd be what I tell myself. Yeah, it'll be work on you. Be like work on you, dog. Because you the only one. Like I said, my problems. All right, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back into it real quick. I went into a lot of counseling and this, that, and another, talking about my wife. Oh, my wife this, my wife that, my wife this, my wife that. And I realized that none of that was her. None of it was her. It's me. It's me. I need to work on me. Ain't none of this stuff that I'm talking to got anything to do with her. So, yeah, work on you, brother. Work on you, brother. That's what I tell myself. And keep it moving. All right, so we're gonna get into quick round game. Hey, first of all, it's the day before, it's the day after, or the first day of school. And I want to thank everybody taking their time coming here, joining us, making this episode. I appreciate y'all being vulnerable and having this conversation. And, just thank you for that. And but we're gonna play a quick game, and it's for the husbands. Is do you know your wife? So I'm gonna ask questions, fellas and ladies. You get one answer. We're not gonna do, maybe this, maybe that. You get one answer that you can decide, and do you know your wife? So
Write the answer
No,
down so y'all don't be cheating.
nah,
Ladies,
we should.
ladies, write the answer down.
Yeah, 100%. Get paper and pen. Yeah.
Right.
That's
'Cause,
even better, man. Yeah, because they'll change it. They'll change it on us. I like that.
On Shane.
I like that, man. So I like that. All right.
Yeah, I got my pen.
Okay. All right, y'all ready? The ladies got the paper, right? All right.
Mhm.
Husbands, don't be looking.
I'm not.
Okay. Your wife got one concert to see.
Oh,
No,
easy.
just one concert to see. Who is that artist?
Living or dead? Just one concert period.
Just one period.
Living,
One-
okay.
Now you said living or dead, though.
Living or dead.
We'll go living. Come on, man. Let's say right now, today, if you had to buy some concert tickets. Ooh, I can't talk.
Oh,
Yeah, if you had to buy some concert tickets of a living artist, so change it if you need to. Yeah. Right now, front row, full experience, backstage, all that, whatever. That's the person you're going to see. You only got one person. Who would it be?
We get backstage. And we got backstage passes.
Yeah, they got backstage everything. Yeah, because they get it
That's
all,
tough.
all that.
I know that. I got my
Yeah,
answer.
come on,
I
baby.
know.
She ain't even write hers down yet. She's still thinking.
Oh, you supposed to change it. No, you
I,
supposed to change
yeah,
it.
that's I did my first. I had the living I had the living or dead. I had my answer for that, but then you said living, so yeah.
living.
If it's living, that's
Living right now, like today, like tomorrow.
I know who the anybody is.
Oh, I'm supposed to write yours.
I know who the dead is.
Sure.
I don't know who the living is tough.
Come on, man. We ain't got all day. Write down that answer.
I can tell you,
I
man.
just wrote it down. Oh, you did. All right. I'm just asking. Olivia, you good? Courtney, give your thumbs up when you're ready. All right. I'm gonna go first and guess my. I feel like I'm gonna be wrong because my wife gonna change it, but it'll be Janet Jackson. And the answer?
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, amazing.
All right.
I ain't gonna get this right.
Just try.
Oh, man.
I mean, the thing about it is it was either Beyonce or Tony. So I'm gonna pick Tony.
All right, show your answer.
It's Beyonce.
Neither.
I'll be so blown. The best concert I ever been to, and so that will be it. Is Maverick City in Kirkland.
Oh, you went to that concert? Oh,
And I was standing up dancing the whole time. It was a real party.
Come
I would've never
on,
guessed that.
man.
I would have never guessed that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I would have.
Olivia.
Because the problem is never mind. I tell you.
All right, go ahead. Say it. Go ahead.
Can't say it on record. I'll tell you once we get on record. Yeah.
Olivia.
I would say. So we get the whole experience backstage, meet the odds. We would probably go to On the Run tour, Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Jason.
She said living or dead, so I already knew who the
If he
dead.
said dead, it was Prince. Period.
Nah,
That ain't what I had.
It was Luther Friday
Yeah,
dead.
Nah,
Yeah.
you had
it was
one guess.
Luca.
Nah,
Yeah, it was
you had one
Luther.
guess.
No, I speak, but she said if it was the dead, that's what she
Oh,
changed it.
What's
It would have been
They get the
Luther
point.
Vandross.
They get the
Yeah,
point.
y'all get the point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Lil Wayne.
Johnny got it.
Johnny, yeah, I know why, but
I'm
nah.
Mhm.
Supposed to go see Jay-Z and Beyonce On the Run.
True. But we wasn't synced up.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
Nah, you was,
initially.
We wasn't synced up even. Nah, but I did
Yeah,
never gonna be a
nah.
single now. But that one didn't even cross my
She
mind.
think about that old school love. I ain't try,
Mhm.
like Johnny
When we
cool.
first
I ain't
met.
trying to.
Have a
I ain't trying.
boyfriend.
I ain't trying to go see Johnny right now. He said tomorrow. If we was going to a concert, I ain't going to see no Johnny Gill tomorrow. He cool, no. You know me.
All right,
No,
fellas. Next question. Next question. Next
I
question.
probably could get us some tickets to go see Johnny Gill. Like,
He in concert with P-Swag. He in concert
like,
with
like
That's
P-Swag.
easy
seriously.
money.
That's easy.
Hey, easy
Who
money,
healed?
man.
All right, next question, fellas. All right, so ladies, get your pens. Get ready. I blanked on the question I had. You took my notes. All right, we asked this on the show. Hold on. It was oh yeah. Who is your wife's childhood crush, movie or television? Childhood crush, movie or television? Come on, man. Don't act like y'all ain't had no childhood crush on TV or anything.
Don't even know who her crush is right now.
I hope it's you.
It is me. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know.
Childhood crush. Come on, you don't know? I already know my answer. See, maybe I rigged this game. Unless she changed it.
Yeah, I couldn't even.
I don't know about this one. I don't know this one. I'm gonna let you know.
Childhood crush. Come on, make a guess, man. Come on, that's part of the game.
That's hard. But
Childhood
I
crush?
hope
She over there. She trying to guess.
Yeah, I don't even know because I
She
ain't
trying
had
to
Music
guess.
artists. We're throwing music artists, anything. Y'all didn't have any childhood crushes? Come on, get out of here, man.
Nope.
You gotta put something down. It's too late. You gotta put something down in the game.
No Tevin Campbell. No.
We're ready over here.
I
I'm ready. Are you
Childhood
ready?
crush.
have no idea who.
Olivia, come on.
I ain't
I
got
can't
it.
even guess.
You got 3, 2.
I have no idea, to
Okay.
be honest with you. I'll be straight up with you.
The only person I can think about that I had a crush on when I was little was Slater from Saved by the
Are you serious? I wouldn't have guessed that.
So Olivia, you
I wouldn't
wrote
have
nothing?
guessed that.
I haven't written down anything because I didn't have one.
Really?
And that was his answer. Y'all's point.
This will be Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
She a Cobra Kai fan, huh?
Yeah, mine's on 100. There's no way she wrote something different. No way. Yeah, I already know. Yeah. Because I remember we watched the old joint. I was like, why you all excited and rubbing on me and shit? What the hell going on
He
here?
was caring and he could fight, you know. A little bit bad boy, a little bit good.
He turned out to be the villain according to the new.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Not that can of worms.
All right.
I know
next
yours.
question.
I know yours.
My
Your
childhood
childhood crush.
I said on the show. We all did.
Topanga.
Know it.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Mhm.
nothing like. So that's why I kind of wanted to see, because I wanted to compare the childhood crushes to what you ended up with. And I don't even like white girls. That's the whole no. I don't. I really don't.
She was
She was like the only one that.
Everybody likes Topanga.
Next question.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Matt, you like Topanga too?
Nah, that ain't what I'm saying. Next question.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna keep moving on. All right. So your wife has one meal. So we got two. This is a two-part question.
Mhm.
One meal. You have to pick the protein and the dessert. So what would she eat?
A restaurant?
I know the restaurant.
The protein and the dessert.
That's impossible for me.
What?
Can we just do a restaurant?
That's impossible because my wife, today she had get your grits on from Miss Shirley's, which is her favorite breakfast, and then Shoto is her favorite restaurant, but it has sushi. And it's
Feel like
like
I should
all
look to
these.
see.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
should look to see.
huh?
I feel like I shouldn't make this easy. I have no idea. I'm making guesses. Come on, make a guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the restaurant is Shoto.
He's right.
I understand that.
She got the right
Protein,
dinner.
dessert.
But I got the right breath, and the dessert is some form of a rice.
Oh wait, she got to write it down. She got to write it
You
down.
already wrote it down. There's no doubt about what I'm saying right now. And when it comes to food, I'm telling you exactly what my wife is going to eat. That's the one thing I do know. I may not know. The dessert is either some form of rice pudding with ice cream.
What's it called?
I can't remember the name of it. Daggone right. I know what it is. It's rice pudding and ice cream.
The mango sticky rice.
Yeah, mango sticky rice. There you go.
Okay, I will give you that.
Yeah, that's easy money.
All right, Olivia. Oh no, Matt has to.
Yes,
Guess.
sir.
You wrote it down, right, Olivia?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
It's gonna be something that I would probably cook, but I would say gonna be salmon. I know. Well, hopefully the dessert. I got the dessert. The dessert should be some type of apple turnover, apple and ice cream.
We ain't vibing tonight.
You off? That's because you off. You ask every time we.
Let me tell you what I have, because
What?
that probably would have worked, but we just didn't sync up again. But it's crabs and strawberry shortcake.
True that. Well,
True that.
yeah, nah. She right. Crabs is her like. She always want crabs. If it's something, let's go get some crabs. But when we go out for dessert, you never order strawberry shortcake. Like I thought
you would think of like the cake that I would like for my birthday. I always get a strawberry shortcake for my birthday.
That's your cake for your birthday. But when we somewhere and you want that's really. But when you somewhere and you want dessert,
to her defense, most places don't have strawberry shortcake on the menu.
Very true.
Back. You say okay, back. You say okay.
No, she got it wrong. That's her joint. But she don't like everybody's strawberry shortcake. You know what I mean? But she wanted an apple turnover like joint with some ice cream. Like apple a la mode. That's she ordered that when we go out. That's the dessert.
I feel like y'all get the points.
Yeah.
I think
I should have got crabs though. That's right. I was thinking about dinner though, like eating
if
dinner.
You was fixing it, yeah, it would have been. It would have been.
Yeah.
But
your salmon and some type of apple turnover with vanilla ice cream, some type of apple a la mode.
But that berry pudding from Matty Ice is like that.
Yeah, I got to come get some of that banana pudding ice cream.
Oh no, don't worry. That my wife now knows that y'all do that specialty ice cream.
Yes.
So she gonna be over there on a consistent basis because she's like a Jenny's person and all that. So yeah. So if 4 kids come walking in there, you'll buy every flavor.
That banana pudding is orgasmic. I'm telling you. Like right.
Hey, baby. So shit. Oh, for me, I gotta guess now. My bad. So all right. Well, I know the dessert is key lime pie. That'd be my guess. Not really? Oh, all right, well, okay.
Not anymore. I've changed.
When? Since this morning? What the fuck you talking about? We just went to Florida and all you asked about was key lime pie the whole time. Like,
21.0.
2023. That's what it is.
How you change on a
August 23. 8/28.
Literally just flew in after eating 6 key lime pies.
That's why she don't want it. She already had enough of it for the year.
6. Everywhere we went.
It would have been, but not no more. I changed.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead.
I've grown.
We just flew back. You had 6. All right, anyway. So I guess I'm losing on the next one because it's gonna be some type of fish. So I'm gonna go. I want to say salmon, but is probably going to be, I don't know. She had swordfish. She had some South African lobster now. So who knows? But go ahead. All right, go ahead. Show your answer.
Whatever you make.
That's what you put.
Oh, she's right up your alley. You messed that whole thing up, Roddy. That sounds
Whatever
exactly
you
like
make
you.
in salmon. I like a good martini.
Salmon was number one. So
Well,
good. Go ahead.
whatever you make is number one, and then salmon, and then white chocolate bread pudding.
Yeah, that's a winner. I get that, but that's only from a specific place. Yeah, you can't get that from anywhere. All right.
Yeah.
We still dubbing. I'm still winning. Hey, so that was a good game. I do want to thank everyone again for being on the show tonight. Hey, Maddie Ice, Olivia, Courtney, Vance. Man. Hey, yo, I dreamt this up that we get our wives on here and have a good time and enjoy this, and this definitely was exactly what I wanted. When I dreamt it, and just thank you for taking time out of your day, joining us here in Dad Mentality. Hey, shootout. Vicky, you want to go ahead and shoot out? Whatever?
Actually, I would like you to shoot out your own businesses so I don't get it wrong.
I'm Courtney Courtney at His Virtuous Boss and www.hisvirtuousboss.com. You reach out to me for any of your business coaching or consulting needs and educational services for community schools.
It's my daughter and I. It's called BA Creations, and we do custom tumblers, jewelry, and accessories. So keychains and bracelets and necklaces and things of that nature. So yeah, BA Creations .store.
All right, go ahead, Maddie.
You can find me at Maddie.
No, Matt.
He got like 40 businesses, bro. Like,
I'm just doing I'm giving the
All
main bit.
right.
Okay. Let me go last.
I fine. I was in mind, yeah, because I guess we're not going to be in the show for the rest of the season. I am the Zindan 80. I teach yoga for adults and children. And you can find me at the Zindan 80 on Instagram, YouTube. And if you're interested in pursuing some yoga, give me a contact. You can find me through podcast, through Dad Mentality Podcast, or you can find me on Fits by Wix. And I look forward to it. All right.
There you go. All right, now, Matt, you can go ahead, but you're gonna be here all season. I announce your shit all the time, but go ahead.
Appreciate it, sir. Hey, no, it's just Maddie Ice and Cream, man. So home of that famous banana pudding. So you can find us at Maddie Ice and Cream on Instagram, on all social media. And we also do apparel. Find us at wealthyandblessed.com and Guap Chasers. But you also can come to our store if you in the DMV Temple Hills area. But you can find out where that's at if you just go to Maddie Ice and Cream, and then you can find out the store location, and you can get everything at the store.
Vance, you got anything you want to shout out or any new companies?
I'm good, man. I just want to say I want to say thanks to all the wives for coming on, and Roddy for hosting the show, Beast One, and Maddie Ice, and Olivia, and Courtney, and Vicky, and everybody, man. We had a great time. We appreciate you, ladies. We love you, ladies. You know what I mean? We know it's Dad Mentality, but we definitely wanted to show the support of you guys and let you guys know that you guys help us grow and just continue to push us as men. We appreciate it.
That was better than my outro, so I'm gonna go
Likewise.
ahead. You can catch us at all platforms, Dad_Mentality. YouTube. God damn, I can talk. Yahoo. I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my touch. I've been messing up stuff all day, but anyway, so yeah, Yahoo, Gmail. You can catch us on that. You can catch us on all platforms in YouTube, Spotify. We're doing another season. Next week we're going to do the 50 years of hip hop. So we're gonna talk about music and get back into that thing. Talk about what things we've been going through, and get back into that dad mentality. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time, man. It was a great show, and catch us on everything. Holla. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Thank you for having us. Bye.